Hello, I'm Clark Pena and welcome to your Advocates Corner. Today we have three special guests. Bullying is an issue that has really dealt a tough blow to a lot of folks in New York City. But the folks that are here today are going to talk about the issue of bullying and how it has been treated or has gone untreated in the Southern Central School District in Rockland County. We're happy to have you guys here. Wacy Siraboom and Sam Siraboom.
Hi.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having the courage to step forward and not only fight for other folks, but you're fighting for your daughter. Tell us what's going on. How did this begin in this district?
It started off pretty much in kindergarten, towards the end round.
Starting kindergarten, she, she went in very social. The kids, everyone got along, but because she got along with everyone, it's just, the kids don't play well when that happens, and kids get segregated, and eventually some boys had already started liking her, and she had said no. They didn't like the response, and they physically hit her and punched her in her forehead. When we went to the school board, or even with, we did the chain of command, they kind of brushed it under the rug, and it went into summertime. So we really didn't hear much, and we started into first grade, and they said it's a brand new year. We hope for the best, and the kids should be more understandable and older, mature, to understand that their actions are, there's consequences now. So we said, okay, well, open-minded, go into first grade. But first grade was horrifying. It started off the bat, and now with the boys having more hormones, I guess, and the girls coming right behind it, it just...
It spiraled out of control pretty much. It started off with just not playing with one another to, okay, now I'm gonna start pulling your hair, I'm gonna start pushing you, I'm gonna start pushing your face into the window in the bus.
The mean words were said, and you encourage your daughters, your kids,
Your children,
to always say, if you take the high road, or you always tell them, listen, you stand up for yourself. But when it gets too physical and you have to bring it to the teacher, and she claims that there was never nothing there, you can't turn a blind eye when there's physical marks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What is the protocol as far as reporting these type of incidents?
You're supposed to first report to the teacher, and if you don't feel fit, then after the teacher, it's like the principal. But it's not really explained. Later on, we found out different. Like, if anything happens in the classroom, teacher's problem. If anything outside the classroom, it's more of the principal's issues, like lunchroom detail, recess, and things like that. That's all for the...
Is this written rule?
It is, but it's kind of buried. Even like with the bullying stuff, like what they deemed as bullying, you still have to sift and dig through their website, because the website is a little old. It's not updated. It's not like, okay, it's not like you can Google it and say, hey, right. Bully policy. But even when you actually looked at the policy, when we actually started looking into it, it said it hadn't been updated since 2007, 8. Wow. I could be wrong with the dates,
right? But
it was a prolonged period of time before it has been updated. And if you noticed, within the last couple of years, you see all the anti-bullying campaigns. Like even
there's PSAs out for everything.
Yeah.
But apparently, where the school district our daughter attends, they seem to not know what the protocols are. And when we brought up to the attention that you can't deny physical harm, that there is just not words anymore, and it's not a he say she say thing, that you have to come in and mediate this. The teacher and the principal are kind of, I I don't know. You know, they're lost for words.
Right.
So then when we continue working with them on a lot of plans, and obviously it didn't work through because the principal had really honestly no initial or any parts of wanting to work it out. She just hoped that we would go away.
And these issues took place from the first grade to?
First
Kindergarten
grade year.
into first grade.
Yes.
But
This long period of time you guys have been complaining,
right.
and no one has taken any type of corrective action.
No, it's one of those, oh, they're just girls being girls. Girls can be mean. The
And-
principal,
right.
many times when we would go into there, the principal would turn around and be like, oh, I was bullied too. They would make fun of my pocket protector and this and that. I was like, I was also bullied as a kid.
Right.
But it was a lot worse. Kicked downstairs, the whole nine. So I understand what
I
my...
was bullied as a kid.
Right,
I know what
So
it
we
is.
all were,
Right.
you know, and
Absolutely.
especially being Asian. Oh, the jokes, oh, you're Bruce Lee, you're this and that. And it's apparent too that, you know, they do kind of stereotype. Like even when I first went into the school, for me to teach her, just went in, I said to an elderly woman, excuse me, miss, can you tell me what Miss Colgan's class is? She instantly said and screamed, security.
They referenced my husband, that he was a gangbanger, drug dealer, that they needed to call the police immediately.
Oh, my.
Because I have, you can't see on the screen, but under my sleeves, I have 2 tattoos on my forearms, but they're actually religious. They could have just took 2 seconds and asked, what do the tattoos mean by any
Right.
means? But they assumed because I looked young, they automatically assumed that I'm 20-something, maybe younger, that I'm some type of affiliate with a gang or anything like that.
What,
So, you know,
what actions did they take after they called
this
security?
security came and said, are you in the right place? And I said, yes, I'm here to see Miss Colgan. Is there a problem? Well, the women over there called security because of you. And I didn't understand why. I said, you know what? I know where the classroom is. If you want to speak to me, you can follow me while I'm going to my daughter's kindergarten class. That was the first thing.
Wow.
So now if you flash forward to first grade, first issue, boop. First incident of hair pulling and bus problems.
You know, they were stealing her snacks. The teacher was aware of it and did not even notify us. For a month, she had her snacks stolen every day. Our daughter was petrified to tell us. And when we went to the principal to address other issues, our daughter finally said, you know, I haven't been eating.
Unbelievable.
And I said, why? You know, what do you mean? You know, and she says, well, that happened to be 2 kids with the same names. And it just happened that both kids had crushes on her. And one of them was stealing her snacks and another one was picking on her. And we called in the teacher, and the teacher said, oh, I just thought you couldn't, you know, her words were basically saying that she thought we couldn't afford to bring snacks in for our kid.
But
So
she said it in a nicer way.
Right, but
pretty
not
much.
but not at one point did she, you know, it was so worrisome. Why did you not call us to say, hey, you know, is everything okay? You know, your daughter doesn't have any snacks. Do you, you know, is there anything that we can work out? But instead, she was supplying our daughter with snacks, and still, even the ones that she was getting supplied by the teacher, that was getting taken away too from the other boys.
Unbelievable. Starting from the beginning, if you're considered to them a security threat, you know, how did you feel that you can be made whole by the same folks that consider you
Yeah, my thing
as
is,
parents?
my thing is, I'd rather walk away and not get myself in trouble and fit that stereotype. I wanted, walking into that school, every time security would literally legitimately follow me.
Right.
Like, yeah, and then it was so bad, so we would turn around and be like, oh, look, that's security and that's security, watch them follow me.
It's uncomfortable. You know, we try our hardest to lead the right way for our daughter.
Absolutely.
You know, she has gotten a very hard time throughout the school years with her classmates and with the adults. You know, even the adults would turn a blind eye and just tell her, you know, essentially go away.
Right.
And when us as parents, adults coming in and question it, they would deny.
And as parents, what is the feeling deep? Look, I'm a parent. I think I'll lose my mind. What is the feeling that your daughter comes home?
It's heartbreaking because we're in that stereotype where we look young, but we are not acting our age. You know, we have to be the calm ones. We can't be that young parent that's 18. What do you mean? You did this to my daughter, did it, you better fix it, you better fix it. If we do that, we turn around and be exactly that stereotype, so then they could flip it and say, well, there you go. That's why we're not helping you, because you're flipping out all the time. So that's why we had to come in and bite our tongue and show that.
But not because we did everything to the T that they wanted to.
You follow the protocol.
Correct.
The so-called protocol.
Right, their protocol. They still didn't know they didn't know how to handle us. Because their plan of action was really never set up to work. It was a failed plan. And now that when we came in, still level-headed, and in all honesty, we were really just looking for a solution. We wanted our child to have a good year, you know, in general, an elementary where she can remember all her childhood years of.
It's a very important years, absolutely.
Every adult, when they look back, they always remember the elementary years, because that's when you had your most fun. You know, that's where you build friendships and bonds and you know, your mentors. That's where you remember who you look up to or even your nurse or the teacher that held your hand when you fall, because, you know, and picked you back up. And these are the memories you make. But when you ask my daughter that, she doesn't remember those.
Yeah, it was to the point where now she has an issue telling that something bad will happen, because they turn such a blind eye so many times, specifically more towards lunchtime, where, you know, everybody knows that's where everything goes up and down and all around. When something bad would happen to her, she wouldn't tell an adult, because she knows they would be like, yeah, you'll be fine. Stop being a baby or cry baby or things like that.
How many Asian students are there in the school?
At that time, she was the only one.
Was the only one. Do you, in your heart and your gut, do you feel that may have some reason?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, between like I said, between the stereotype of us looking young parents, they thought we didn't know nothing, you know, and it's definitely rough in trying to explain to our daughter, who was in first grade at the time, you know, you have to pick your head up and keep it going, keep it moving, don't let them break you down. In the meantime, having our emotions in check, because we can't show her that it's crumbling us inside. So then when we go to the principal, you know, on paper, they're going to tell you, we did everything. You know, we came up with this plan for you. We did everything we possibly can on paper.
Right.
But when it came to actually fulfilling those points that were on their plans, quote unquote, they never felt.
Where are we now? The plan obviously never took effect.
Well, now she's in 5th grade. We are in a lawsuit. It's still going on. She's now in 5th grade. But again,
we had to pull her out of public school. They tried to force us.
She was in danger.
Right, but the principal made it seem like that there was never any endangerment, and that we needed to bring her back in, that they could work something out magically overnight. We told her that it is unsafe, that our daughter is crying every day, she's having stomach pains, that she has headaches. So we told her that we were not coming back until we can. You came and guaranteed, you had many plans back then to make good on your promises. And now we had to pull her out to go to private school, and she's been there for going on 4 years now. And we are
doing a little better?
Yes, doing better, but it was still a process, because she was so used to that mentality of the group mentality of people being this way. She didn't want to open up again.
But now she's finally built friendships. You know, it's great now. You know, she's in a place where she feels safe. You know, the principal is amazing, and the staff around is.
You could tell they definitely care.
Right.
They had the plan. It didn't work, obviously. What did you guys do?
We went to the school psychologist first. Instead of it being, okay, where is this bullying coming from? It turned into nothing at all. She would ask little silly questions that didn't make no sense to Jalen. Jalen never answered it because she didn't understand it. So then we said, okay, fine, we'll go to an outside psychologist. But because the community is tight, and some of the psychologists in Rockland County, their children go to Viola also.
Or within the district.
They were too scared to take even the case. There was multiple psychologists that stated, I am sorry, I'll never say this in court, or I'll never prove,
I would never admit this.
But I can't help you guys out because my child still goes to that school and I'm scared of what they're going to do to my child.
Wow.
And
so
then,
you guys were victims.
Yeah.
You're being victimized by the district.
So we tried to look out for outside, and there was nothing that everyone just turned their back on us. We looked for within the school, we looked outside of the school, and we, from there we tried to work up the chain of command. We went to the superintendents, and even there, they were pushing us all around. They said, oh, when you got the wrong one, you have to go to this branch, and you have to go to that branch, and that, so it got thrown around.
It was hard too because when you try to find help and you can't get it, it's heartbreaking because there's more than just our case in the Suffern School District. There are other parents that are too scared to say something about the school district.
I noticed that we're going to follow up with this as well. There is a watchdog group in Southern Central School District that has a website. We're going to put it at the end, but some interesting reading. Very interesting reading. It's there are other victims.
As when our daughter was getting bullied, there were other kids that were just getting bullied as well. And depending on the severity of the case, they would just not acknowledge it. And if you didn't know the right people, they would not take care of you. At the end of the day, all we want is for our daughter and everyone else that's getting bullied to get justice. We are all humans, right? We should not be sitting here and acting like this is okay. It's not.
Absolutely not.
And the biggest part of this horrible time is we originally didn't even want any money. We did everything right. We went to the teacher, then the principal, then the superintendent, then we got a lawyer, then a judge, and then with the thousands of motions and stop, no, can't do this, go do this, oh no, you forgot this paperwork, oh sorry, we got to reschedule you, to turn around and say, still nothing, oh, you just got to keep waiting.
Not for nothing, while us as parents trying to figure this out, our daughter is still having to go to school every day. She's petrified. She's scared. There were many days that she missed school.
I could imagine.
And what were we supposed to tell her? And at that time, she was still attending Viola when we were still working with the superintendent or trying to, but he was always unavailable. He was always needing to reschedule, and now we know why. With this new thing that we just uncovered, but his needing to do other things were more important than addressing the bullying cases. And now every child is sitting here suffering, and us as parents watching our kids go in fear in school and crying for dear life. It's what are we supposed to do? Tell her no, it's okay now? No, it's not okay now. Now we have to pull her out. We have to put her in private school. We were under the impression that we were hoping that we were coming so close, and that's what they kept telling us. Yes, we're going to put her into, at first initially they said, no, we won't put her into the school. How about another school? We spoke to our attorneys, and they said, you know what, just do it. It's in the same district, it's a good school.
Yeah, it was one of the times we were in front of a judge for some type of motion. I think it was for an emergency transfer. Their lawyer said, oh, why did they want Cherry Lane? Why not Montebello? So he said, okay, fine, we'll do the Montebello. Then when you're supposed to do the paperwork, I said, okay, this is going to be done. They said, no, thank you.
Sorry, take back.
We'll take it back. You're going to still stay in this school. All for the simple fact of it'll cost the district thousands of dollars to move one child to the 5 separate elementary schools in the district.
You know, I feel for you. You guys continue to fight. We want to hear more about this case. We're coming right back with Jaylin. She's the star of the hour, your beautiful daughter. We'll be right back.
So the math test today was like really difficult, wasn't it? I seriously thought.
I wish she would shower every once in a while.
Did she just go to the bathroom? I think she would have fixed her hair.
Hey Kendall, I was wondering if maybe you wanted to hang out this weekend?
Sorry, I don't think it's gonna work out.
Okay.
Hey, I heard you asked out Kendall.
I didn't know you liked girls.
Little by little, it all adds up.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Clark Pena, and this is the Advocates Corner. We're talking about bullying, and we're talking about a particular case here with Wifey and Sam Siraboom. And we have the star of the hour, Jaylin. How are you, young lady?
Good.
You good? Mm-hmm. You look like you're made for cameras. You know that? And we were talking about the way people were treating you in school. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Yeah, don't be afraid. You're safe here. As we say in New York City, we have your back. Mm-hmm. What happened? What was going on?
So it started in kindergarten. At the end of the year, the girls started saying mean stuff to me, and then first they started pulling my hair and pulling my clothes, and then they were telling other kids on the playground not that I was being mean to them and that I wasn't a good person to play with, so that everyone would hate me in school.
And you know that's not true, right? Right, Jaylin? You know that's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was speaking to your parents, and you get good grades in school, and you're dancing. You're doing all type of good things, right?
Yes.
Yes. Could a big guy like me, can I dance? Can you show me a couple moves later? She doesn't want to take that responsibility. You're okay. You have great parents. Guys, you've gone to court. What do you expect to get from the court? What kind of relief?
Justice. We just want justice.
Yes.
We want everyone to be held accountable. There's absolutely no reason why this shouldn't have gotten dragged out the way it did. This could have easily gotten nipped in the butt. These were little kids at the time. You know, they still are, but at the time they could have all gotten signed down and spoken to. And it wouldn't have gotten any further. But because they wouldn't address the situation, the adults were afraid to say anything. And then now she was a victim, is a victim, and now the three of us, we can't walk around our community without being said or pointed and say, oh, that's them.
You know what's really scary about the whole thing, while I listen to the story, is there are a lot of Jaylins out there. When I was in school, which long way back, but there was no way to report these type of attacks and bullying. And it seems like to this day there really is nothing in place after so many years.
They claim there is.
They claim there is, but you have to, like I said, sift through stuff.
You know, again, if you don't know the right person, right, you don't get taken care of. And apparently we don't fit the criteria.
Where do you move on from here? Obviously, this is something that a child carries for some time. You know, these are the growing years.
Right.
How do you move forward, other than the court case? How do you move forward to make sure that she's whole?
Time is what's gonna tell us. All we want right now is all those that turned a blind eye, that didn't want to take this as a serious case, held accountable, and we just
want justice. That's all we want. We want the judge to recognize this as for what it is, that it's a serious matter, and that there is nothing more than what he has in front of him, that you cannot continue brushing this off. No one can continue brushing this off. These are legitimate cases here.
And for those folks that are watching, this is a result. This is a result of doing nothing. There's a lot of people responsible out there. Sam, this is your camera. Talk to them. Let them know what you're feeling, what you want.
We just want justice for our child, and to let her know that all the struggles that she went through, it wasn't in vain, that she's gonna grow and still be a beautiful person inside and out. And that because she got those events that happened to her, that justice was served for her. And that all her questions are answered on what happened to her and why. Is there anything you want to say, Monkey?
Are you mad at anyone, Jaylene?
It's not fair.
It's not fair. I know that.
Go ahead.
It's definitely not fair. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming here today. Jaylene, if you need me to sit next to you in classroom, let me know. I'm going to need a big chair, but I'll be there. I'll be your bodyguard. Okay? Listen, we had a public service announcement in the middle. Let's learn from that public service announcement. We have to stop bullying folks, and we hope that this family gets the justice that they deserve.
It's okay, baby.
Thank you so much, guys.
It's okay.
And thank you. I'm Clark Pena for the Advocates Corner. Let's take care of each other. Let's take care of ourselves. Most importantly, let's stop the bullying. Until next time.